clay pot. We'll start with clay again, and we'll wedge it. We don't have to worry as much about wedging this time because we're going to be breaking the pieces of clay off here to work with. But again, you've been working with coils your whole life since you were a wee toddler. You had Play-Doh, you went to art classes, and you made coils. What did you actually make? Snakes. So you can think of coils as snakes. Start with, break off a little piece, start to roll it evenly, and you're gonna try and make your snakes as long as you can, right on the table. As I'm working, my hands are kind of going like this in a C shape to get the coil to go all the way around. Otherwise, if I just go back and forth, it will start to be uneven and not round anymore. It'd be clumpy. You can use both hands and just try and make it as long as you can. You can make really skinny ones if you want to, but the ones that you will work with to make your clay pots should be about the width of your pinky. And to make the bottom of your coil pot, here's some coil pot examples. So we're building a pot with coils. This one has a flat slab or pancake bottom there. We're gonna make it with a coil like this one. So it swirls around like a snail. You can add little details on. You can see this person added some spheres on there as well. You can also make, once it's in this shape, you can transform it into another shape, a star, a heart, a triangle, as you wish. This one is also a coil pot. It's nice and tall and skinny. And this person applied white slip and then scratched through, and I'll show you how to do that too. Okay, so making the base of your pot, you can just roll it all up. And there you have it. Okay, so right now this clay is wet and it's sticking together, but as it dries, all that moisture is going to leave it. And you know, before we put it in the kiln, it has to be completely dry. If there's any moisture in your pot and it's in the kiln, moisture, it turns to steam and it has to escape when it's firing in the kiln. So again, you risk some explosions if there's any moisture left in there. So we let it dry out completely before we fire it. And if you think of this one, when it's completely dry, it will just unravel, or it won't even unravel, it will just kind of come to pieces because there's nothing holding it together. So we're going to talk about how to hold the clay together to make clay pieces and then combine them like with glue, slip, and make them stick together. So in this case for the coils, let's look at this one again. You can see it's a coil pot on this side, but on this side it's flat. And this is how this artist chose to put it together, to make the clay stick together. So let's say I want to do the same thing and I want my inside to be flat. So here I'm making just a surface connection, but this clay is melding together with the other sides, the other coils there. And then the back side can stay a coil for decorative purposes. It looks nice. If you want that to be the inside, you could do that as well. So when you're making coil pots, you don't have to score and slip, but you do have to make sure that the coils are connecting together in some way. So I'll show you that as I build my walls here. I'll just try and make a similar one to this one. So I'll start with my piece of clay. Whoops, blow out. Okay, so that means that it's a little bit sticky. If you need to, you can grab your wood board. If you feel like your clay is too sticky and it's sticking to the table, you can grab your wood board and work on the wood board. I'll just break that. And I have some old clay pieces in there, that's okay. It just came off the board. So it won't stick to the board, but if you work too much on the board, it will suck out the moisture of your clay too, and your coils will get very cracky. and it might be frustrating to you. So you have to choose, you know, if it's sticking here, maybe work a little bit on your board, but then when it's okay, work back on the table, which isn't gonna suck the moisture out. Okay, so you can just set your coil on there, however you want to. And oh, it fits perfectly. It won't always do that. Side. So I'm trying to go for even thickness of coils. A little thick there. Just so I have good craftsmanship as I'm working. And I will just keep piling these on here. And see here now it doesn't line up perfectly, so I just go right on up to the next level. So start with sort of a round shape and then roll it out some more. You can use both hands if you're pro. Keep it in your control. So your coil isn't like flopping around everywhere. And then I can add my next layer on there. So you see I'm just setting the coils on, which works while I'm building, but when it's dry, it will all just come apart. It will just be coil pieces. So you have to think about how you want them to stick together. Like right now, it will just break off. That's what will happen when it's dry too. So I think for the sake of this demonstration, so you can see what's happening, I'm gonna make the outside stick together, and you can make the whole outside smooth if you want to, or you could just do sections of it. So as I'm working, I'm gonna support the back and just kind of pull the surface of the coils together. So that will give you the whole surface as flat, and you can use wood tools to help you here if they work better than your fingers. If you want to, you could just do stripes of connecting areas. It won't be as strong, but there is a connection that's happening, so it will hold together. So something like that. It's also a good idea on the inside to connect that bottom coil to the base of your pot. And I'm just gonna go in with my finger and just kind of push that bottom coil all the way around. That just helps make a stronger connection. And let me show you something else fun here that we can use while you're making these coil pots. This is a sculpture wheel, so it's not for like throwing pots on a wheel, but instead it's for while you're building a sculpture. You can set it on here and work a little bit, move it a little bit, work a little bit, move it a little bit, just to help you get a 360 view of your pot as you're working. Okay, I'll add a few more coils here. I'm just building it right up. And remember that C shape, C sort of motion to it when you're making your coils to help your coils go all the way around. There we go. It's okay if it breaks off. That as one coil and the other one as the next. Around and around we go. Okay, as you're making this tree, you can think about what purpose will this serve. Maybe you want a pencil holder on your desk at home to put pencils in. Maybe you're making this for your mom's desk so she can put her paper clips in it, and you might build the shape of your coil pot based on what purpose, what function it will have. So I'm just gonna go around now and smooth out the outside, make those connections so it won't fall apart. Okay, and like the pinch pot that you made, you can put whatever texture in there. You can spend more time smoothing this out if you want to with whatever, like the wooden tools. Okay, the reason that we're reviewing these are basic ceramic projects with you, is because we want you to use these strategies when you're building your clay mythical creature. So we have a coil pot here, and maybe my mythical creature has a belly. I could make the belly out of the coil pot and then add legs, attach legs to it. I could take my pinch pot and attach it on here too, and that could be like the base of my creature.